the Pod Network Entertainment.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this program are the speaker's own. The material and information presented here is for general information and entertainment purposes only. This program might include strong images or language and may not be suitable for all audiences. This podcast was mainly created for fun and entertainment, and because we're the only podcast that has a big enough bravado to talk about all these. Viewer discretion is advised.
So the Olympics just finished. Obviously, it's like when it comes to the Olympics, I only watch, and this is me being guilty, I only watch basketball. It's like I'm all for basketball. It's like, seeing Steph and USA bag gold was just fantastic for me.
I was so happy.
So good, yeah. Are you a Golden State fan?
Yes.
Awesome.
My entire family.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah. It's like I'm all for Golden State. It's like I wasn't the biggest fan of Golden State back then, pero I was the biggest Steph Curry fan. Even in Davidson palang, I was watching him and just seeing, it's like, oh, look at this guy, blurting out 3-pointers just like that, and it was super cool. So obviously I gravitated toward GSW, and it's like it was super cool. It's like watching them, win gold six times in a row now, I think. And the Olympics is like had a lot of pretty memeable moments in the good and the bad side of things. And I got to wondering, Sammie, it's like if there's like an Olympics on what you're good at, what would it be?
Impulsive buying. Definitely. Yeah, if I see something I like or it's cute, I'll buy it right away. Like, I don't even have to think twice.
Look,
so I feel like it's a good and a bad.
No, I wanna do Yuki math here by saying that's like I try my best to not do that as well. But man, was like, oh, look at this. There's a new action figure of freaking Iron Man. And I was
like that with Funko Pops.
So I think we need help.
Yeah, we need help. I like that with Funko Pops, especially the blind boxes. They got it so big recently, and my cousins got me into it. So every time I enter a store that sells blind boxes, I have to buy.
How much have you bought? Like in one receipt?
Me and my cousin actually debated already if we should buy a whole case or like a whole set of blind boxes. But then I was like, I think this is too much. So we didn't push through with it.
So it was like north of 20, north of 10, north of 20,000 pesos, most likely.
Oh, no naman.
Hindi pa naman. Okay.
Hindi pa naman.
Yeah, I did once. Like the biggest K-pop purchase I did was for my fiance. And my fiance is a big Mumu. She's a big Mamamoo fan. And I bought the whole discography in one go. And I was like, why am I doing this? And, okay, cool. It's like, I love you. And, this is all. That's also for me. I'm a big Mumu. I was like, I was a Mumu first, then she did. Then her. So it's like, I was looking at it as like, oh, look, it's the whole discography. I was like, oh, look, my bank account is crying. It's like, but yeah, I guess that could count as impulsive buying. Yeah,
that's okay. When I started collecting merch, it was like that for me. I think I finished BTS's discography in at least 4 days, like buying it.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was so bad.
4 days for the whole discography.
It was so bad.
Hey, man. To each its own, It's like I'm not big on the collecting stuff. Like normally it's like I'm more aesthetic. So what I do is I did something like that where I bought like a good chunk of the Luna albums. Luna, like the group. So prior to them disbanding, I bought the whole chunk, but I only bought it from people that did collecting PCs. So if you collect PCs, obviously you'll have a chunk of like freaking albums. So they sell it for like super cheap. It's like dirt cheap. So it's like, oh, okay, let me get that album and that album and that album, and then now I have like a plethora of freaking, it's like, I don't know, 30 albums in my closet.
Oh no!
It was like, at least like it didn't
That's how it
cost me like
starts.
an arm and a leg, right? I mean,
Yes.
so I'm just purely for the aesthetic. So I have the albums, propped up in a cabinet and displayed, and like, look at that, it's all the Luna albums, not knowing that it's secondhand. So
That's good,
guess,
though.
yeah.
That's how it starts.
oh man, Sammie, please don't. Yeah, I mean, but you know what? I think like I'm at the safe zone now where I don't think it'll start ever for me anymore. Because it's like, I've been in the fandom for 15 years, so it's like, I've been a K-pop fan since 2009, around that
Oh
time.
wow.
So, and if I started collecting, I would have collected already, but I didn't.
yeah.
So,
Yes.
fingers crossed, like I'm not like that, It's like, because people, when they collect stuff, it's like, you included, it's just way too nutsy. Sammie's like, it's insanely
like
big.
I've surpassed.
Okay, okay, defend the Avengers. Go on.
I feel like I've surpassed the collecting phase.
Oh, really?
Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, over the pandemic, there wasn't really anything else to do except
that's
for
true.
shop online, right?
That's
So during the pandemic, I can say that's when my collection really became
Blew
super
up.
duper big. Yeah, that's when it blew up.
Yeah.
But then since pandemic is now over and
Yeah.
concerts are back, I feel like I want to
The experience instead of the
yeah, I'd
merchandise.
rather experience than
Yeah.
have it just on my shelf not doing anything.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that being said, I want to welcome everyone here to the Kingdom Podcast Season 4. My name is Yuki. Over here is, it's like, probably, arguably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, army that I probably know, It's like, there's a lot out there, but man, Sammie just takes the cake, and it's like the content is really good, and I personally am a fan of the
you.
content, and
Thank you.
I'm so excited. Obviously, it's like, it's not obvious, pero sabi niya she's nervous, but look at her. Look at her. She's like doing so well. Please welcome on the freaking show. This is Sammie over here.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited for this. Like, I want to give a huge shout out to TPN and Blogpalooza for making this happen. It's like super
Thank you.
cool.
Yes.
Sammie, so I wanted to get to know you a little bit better. It's like we already talked about, it's like your problem,
My problem.
your merch problem.
My merch problem.
Yeah, but it's like prior to the pandemic, it's like obviously so when did the content creation start for you, na lang first?
Okay, so a little bit of a backstory. I was in, I would say, second year college, if I remember, when Musically was starting to be a big thing.
Big thing. Yeah.
So my cousin Sophia, she was actually
Oh,
doing it for
okay.
fun. And I was like, what is that? So she showed me how to do it. And I started doing it just for fun until there was like this representative search for the country at that time. And I was like, okay, I'll join. Never know. Just for fun. And then I got picked. So it was from then on where I started getting invited to like globe events for Musically, and
Yeah.
a lot of networking was happening for us. So I feel like that's when it really started. So around 2016 at that time.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's how it started for me. That's how the content creating started for me. I did it for fun at first, but then when the whole networking thing started, that's
Then
when I really
obviously,
took it seriously.
Yeah. It's like it's a professional thing now.
Yes.
But it's like, Sammie, prior to that, so that was a second year college back in, it's like probably mid 2010s, right?
yes.
So it's like, prior to that, who was Sammie before The
that.
social media boom. Yeah. What were you doing? It's like, what are the hobbies? Were you part of the
Nothing
Glee Club
really.
or
I
something like that?
was in high school. I was a cheerleader.
Mm,
And I was like any normal person going to school. So growing
right.
up, I did a lot of sports. I did ballet, I did taekwondo, I did
Shade.
basketball for a summer. My mom was a swimmer, so I did
Mm.
swimming for fun. And then I did soccer from the age of, if I remember correctly, 8 until like
Oh, okay.
11. And
Oh,
then I found my love for cheerleading, so I started cheering at grade 6.
until
And
you graduated
yeah,
high school. Right. Were you a
basically.
K-pop fan then? It's like, was
Oh
K-pop
no,
becoming a thing?
I was a huge believer.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah,
Like not
I
like a
like
lot of people are, right? I mean, I
I
I
like Justin
eventually
Bieber and
liked
One
Justin as well.
Direction.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
So
when did the BTS thing happen for you?
my K-pop journey actually started in 2017, I would say. Cause somebody reposted Blackpink's Whistle music video on
Mm.
Facebook. Am I allowed to say Facebook?
Of course.
Okay, okay, okay. Somebody reposted the Whistle music video on my Facebook feed.
Right.
So ever since then, I was like, oh, it's pretty catchy. The music video is like really cool because it's
Yeah.
something you don't normally see, right? Especially if you listen to Western artists. Like
Right.
parang the K-pop music videos are really like out of this world.
Yeah.
I don't know how they come up with those concepts. But yeah, that's how it started for me. And then until 2019, I only liked Blackpink because that was
Mm.
the only K-pop group that I knew. And
Okay.
then in 2019, I was doing my internship in the States. And it was a really low point in my life because it was my first time to be like away from family for a long time. So I wasn't in the right headspace. So my
Right.
supervisor at that time, she was like, "Do you want to go home?" And we have a house in San Francisco. So I was
Sure.
like, "Yes, please." So my supervisor was like, "Okay, I'll let you take a week off and go home, see your family." So that's what I did. My mom's older brother is actually the one looking after her house there. So
Mm.
I was able to spend time with my cousins and my tito. And all of a sudden, like, I don't know why it was on MTV. Like, our TV was just on MTV that day.
Right.
And the Boy With Love music video came on.
Ah.
So I was like, "Oh, this is really really catchy. Who are these boys?" And my cousin was like, "That's BTS." And I was like, "Huh? No way!" Because back in 2016, I've already known about BTS because I had cousins that were army already at
Mm.
that time.
Okay.
So I was like, "No way, that's not BTS." And my cousin was like, "Yeah, that's BTS." So ever since then, I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna check what their names are," and then
Sure.
it
And
all,
repeating
it
what
all
Sammy
went
just
on
said,
from
that's
there.
how it starts.
That's how it starts.
Exactly. So, Boy with Love would probably be arguably, it's like, at least for me personally, because I've known BTS since Danger. So
Yes.
it's been a while that I've known BTS. So it's like people tend to, it's like gravitate towards say, it's like, it's like, look at you. Who are you to talk about BTS like this and blah blah blah. It's like, bitch, sit down. It's like I've known them since Danger. It's like I'm pulling the old card here. It's like screw you. So I was like at at one point, it's like obviously I know of BTS, but I'm not a big fan of them. It's like no hate towards BTS though. They were an up and coming group at the time when I knew of them. But obviously there were the EXOs of the time. There were the B2Bs of the time, which are
Yeah.
really prominent boy groups. A lot of people would argue that when they say that Boy With Love is probably the turning point for BTS, and I tend to agree with that as well. And before anyone in the chat or anyone in the comment section says that this Yuki guy hates BTS, I personally think that BTS is the best K-pop group of all time, hands down, number one. I'm pretty sure, and if you listen to previous episodes of the podcast, you'll definitely know that I wouldn't want to say that I'm an army, but I'm a big BTS fan. I follow them, not as extensive as most people, but I do follow them, and I'm still very much excited if ever that they have like any kind of solo or group releases. So, and again, it's like game recognizes game. They are the best of all time, hands down. I can't really say anything about that. 'Cause it's like just the sheer impact, It's like, and just going back to what I was saying earlier, Boy with Love was really the turning point. That's when they gravitated towards a more global stage
I agree.
compared to how they were back then. And I thought, like, if you came in with Boy with Love, then that was prime time.
Yeah.
It's like that was prime BTS.
It really
It's
was.
like that. If anything, yun ang pinakamagandang time na pumasok atin sa fandom. So again, it's like, a lot of people tend to gravitate towards BTS because a lot of people would say that they're the best, myself included. I'm pretty sure, Sammie, that they're probably the best of all time. It's like, there's just no competition.
I don't want
Right
to be
now?
biased, but yes.
Yeah, it's like, and I'm not biased. I'm a Girls' Generation fan, So I'm saying that BTS is the greatest thing that ever came out of K-pop. It's like, you just don't get to that level. Not anymore. Or at least not right now.
Yeah, not right.
So, yeah, it's like there's just no competition just yet. But I'm still keeping my eyes open, It's like I'm still hopeful, things like that. And it's like not hopeful that BTS will be dethroned, it's like anytime soon, because I don't think that's happening. But if there's anyone, right? I mean, that it would be pretty interesting to still see and find out who that
Yes.
anyone is, if that makes sense. So, yeah, so it's like 16 minutes in. We talked a whole lot already. It's like, okay, I want to talk about your content here. It's like, so how did the content evolve over time? How did it start? It's like obviously musically would be like you just lip syncing and
Yes.
stuff, right? And then it's like, was there like from the contents that you were making, was there like something that really blew up overnight?
Oh yeah. I currently have a video right now. It's pinned on my TikTok. I think that's what really helped me. It has 9 million views.
Holy.
Yeah. I know right now on TikTok that's not a lot because
No,
people can
it's like
get
it's still a
more.
lot, dude.
But then, yeah, it got me 9 million views. So there was a video that came up on my For You page. It was an edit of an Indonesian fan, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And I was like, hey, I want to do that. That's really cool. So basically, what it was like you choose between two members. And then if you choose the wrong member, so at that time it was Taeyong that I chose. And then Jungkook comes into the picture and telling me to like move back, go to my lane, go to my lane. So I was like, I want to do this. So, luckily, the Indonesian army had like a tutorial on how to edit it. So I
Right.
did that, and then when I posted it, it boomed.
That blew up. Oh, that's awesome. So it's like obviously people would know you as, one of the top army in it's like at the very least in the Philippine space, right? I mean, people look up to you, to your content, see what you're doing and whatnot. It's like, is there anything about your content that you're kind of like really, it's like, is there something about content creating that you're looking forward to still be doing on a daily basis?
Um, I still try to do like my BTS content nowadays, but I also want to do more of like what I do on the daily, like
Hmm.
vlogging, but
Yeah.
not so much, like short vlogs of
Okay.
like
Yeah.
what I do in a day. Because like recently I've been really busy. So a lot of my followers are actually like, oh, how do you be a content creator? How do you be an influencer? So I think showing them a glimpse of what I do on the daily and how to be able to achieve that goal is what I want to do. It's what I want to show.
Cool. And obviously it's like you do a lot of unboxings.
I do.
And It's like, and here she is saying that I think I'm done with like that phase in my life. It's like I'm not gonna ask for a specific price, but at least like what I'm gonna ask is, what's the biggest merchandise that you currently own, if that's something that you can share.
Like based on the price.
Based on price, yeah. So
based on price.
We're not asking for the price, just the merch. It's like what?
Currently it would probably be one of Jungkook's photo cards.
Oh, it's one of them.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, it's like people, and for context, if people don't know this, like sometimes you get like one of one photo cards or one of 10 photo cards, and those are the rare ones that you know, obviously because it's out of 10 or out of 1, and they resell those stuff. And sometimes you get that on eBay, and it's like, oh look, there's an auction for this photo card, and it's like, it's pretty cool. So it's one of the photo cards, like probably on your front, like the front of the binder.
I don't have it on my binder actually. It's displayed
it
on my desk. Not on this desk, okay? Not here, not here.
Okay. It's
my
like,
room in
okay,
my mom's
like,
house.
It was like, where is it there? So I thought you had it under like lock and safe,
No.
It's like,
it's just there.
it's just there. It's like, paano
Yeah.
kung may pumunta? It's like, oh look, it's a photo card. Uso pa naman dito sa Pilipinas yung nagnanakaw ng photo.
I'm smart. No, cause my merch is in my mom's house, and everybody, like
Okay.
even my siblings, know not to go in my room if I'm not home.
Oh, okay. So it's not with you. It's like you don't carry it around.
No.
like,
Oh no,
right?
no.
Oh no. It's like I would never ever like
I've
do that.
learned.
Oh crap! You've had experience? It's
No,
like, of
but
losing
on
stuff.
Twitter, like over the pandemic, a lot of photo cards were like being stolen, even in the mail when they found out about how much these photo cards can be sold for. So
Oh,
I've learned not to
wow.
put real photo cards at the back of my phone or hanging on my bag. It's all like
That's right.
fake.
Yeah, it's all
Fake.
like printed.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly. I learned.
yeah. Look at this
Yeah, so
$10,000
scary.
photo card. Let me just print this out and just put it in the back of my phone. It's like
Yes,
pretty nifty, right?
Exactly.
Like that's a hack for everyone. It's like if you have like an expensive one, it's like you already have the expensive one anyways, like within your grasp, like it's with you. Just print out,
Exactly.
the photo card and display it. So because you probably have like the photo card with you, in your house or in your
Yeah,
mom's
you're
house.
never
Like,
so
what's
sure.
that?
You're never so sure these days anymore.
Yeah, it's
So
like you really can't. And it's so difficult too. It's like photo cards drive me insane. It's like I'm one of those guys that I'm not a big believer of collecting photo cards. It's
uh-huh.
like but at the same time it's like I can understand because it's the same mindset as like collecting an album, right? I mean, it's like
Exactly.
I want
And
the
for
aesthetic
non
of the
like
album right there.
yeah, and for non K-pop people, it's like collecting like baseball cards, basketball
Right,
cards.
exactly, right. Collecting coins, things like that,
Exactly.
So it's kind of like that, but at the same time, it's like I wouldn't really spend like $1,000 on a fucking photo card. I just can't, Probably I'm cheap or I'm broke like that, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can ever. But
Yeah,
again,
I
to each its
understand.
own. Not judging anyone. It's just
No, but
it is what it
okay.
is.
I've learned not to pay so much anymore for photo cards as well.
Not
Yeah.
for merch anymore, but more of the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, the
Yeah, because
experience.
yeah, for sure. It's like don't get me wrong. It's like recently, it's like we and from Mamamoo went here for a concert here in the Philippines. I watched VIP. It's like I was standing VIP. It's like barricade. It's like
Barricade.
this is me. I'm her. Like that's her. I can smell the air that she's breathing. It's like muntik na siya maging weird. Dun sa sasabihin ko. It's like I could smell her. No, I couldn't. But it's like I could smell the air that she's breathing. So it's like I'm all for spending a whole lot of money for the experience nowadays.
Yes.
And it's like obviously that's not going to be cheap, right? It's not something cheap. But at the same time, it's like you're paying for something that you will only experience once, and I'm pretty sure that that's going to be a one thing
Yes.
because I mean, Mamamoo just not the most famous group in the Philippines. It's just not. Can we fill up arenas? Yeah, probably. It's like they did Araneta. We filled up Araneta. They did Skydome, which sucks, by the way, but it's like we filled up Skydome. So it's like it was so small. It's just so small that it's like a lot of people couldn't buy and get inside. So that's why it sucked for me. But the concert itself, like is just an amazing experience.
Yes.
So, and you can't beat that. It's like
Exactly.
obviously. So where have you seen BTS? Like, can we ask that question? It's like, it's like which country?
In Korea, of course. So it
Okay,
was my first time seeing them
in
ever.
Korea.
Yeah, in Korea.
Oh wow,
So
what an
it was
experience! I'm so envious. Oh man. Okay.
it was after pandemic. I mean it was still pretty much lockdown, I think, but not as
21,
strict.
2021,
Around, yeah,
2022.
2021, 2022. So it was their last guesting before they enlisted, actually.
Oh shit.
So I was able to see them in Music Bank and then Inkigayo, which was a pretty crazy experience.
Crazy how?
um, so their their pre-recording for Inkigayo actually was supposed to start at around 9 p.m. if I'm not mistaken, but
Oh
it
wow,
got
that
pushed
late.
back
Okay.
to 12 midnight. So yeah, and if I remember correctly, there were two different groups that won the raffle so that they could watch the pre-recording.
Watch. Yeah.
So Group A ended at around 3 a.m., I believe. And yeah, it was
Holy
pretty
crap.
wild. Yeah, a lot of the members weren't so happy that there were so many technical difficulties and delays with the recording. So Group B, if I remember correctly, entered at around 3:30, and we were there until 9 a.m. the next day.
And the group was also there until 9 a.m. the following
Yes.
day, and this was
Yeah.
prime BTS.
This was in
It's like
20.
Dynamite, freaking Boy with Love,
Yes.
everything happened already.
Dynamite. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was pretty crazy. So I basically slept over. We were on the sidewalk. A lot of us were on the sidewalk
Yeah.
in Kigayo, and we were literally just waiting for them to come out. Because I didn't win the raffle, but I still wanted to see them. So we
Yeah.
were all waiting outside the Inkigayo building. And people were going to 7-Eleven, buying coffee just to stay up. So we didn't expect to be there until 9 a.m. the next day. It was really
Holy
crazy.
crap. Oh,
Yeah,
so it's
even
like
the
people.
guards and
Yeah.
the media were there. They
Oh,
were
they were
all there.
waiting as well. Oh my god. And can you
It
imagine?
was
It's like it's just insane. It's like this is a shooting for. It's like obviously they're not on stage for like nine
a long
hours, right?
time, yes.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like you're making people wait dun sa dressing room for things to eventually work out. And not
Yes.
only are you making people wait, you're the people that you're making wait are one of the
BTS.
biggest like freaking people in the world. So it is wild to me that something like Intigayo would
Yeah.
have faulty after faulty, it's like technical issues going on. That's insane to me. That's wild. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
So like the people group A were telling us um how cranky Suga was getting because of all
Mm.
the technical difficulties cuz they
Hmm.
cuz they didn't mind if they were tired, but they cared about Army's well-being, right? So
Right.
not only the people who are watching pre-recording, but the people outside waiting for
Outside.
them as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, I feel like that's why he was getting cranky. But
Hmm.
then it all turned out okay. I
So
guess.
was this like winter, summer, spring?
It was June, so it wasn't that cold.
Oh, okay, it wasn't cold, yeah.
Thank
But
God
I
it
guess it
just
was
didn't
pretty hot.
rain.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Rain is a different issue, yeah.
So it
I mean,
wasn't
it rains
raining.
in Korea. It's like it probably is like if it rains like here in the Philippines, that's probably a safety hazard.
Yeah.
You know, it's like tambay ka sa Moraita dun sa UST front, and it's like serious like you're swimming there. But yeah, I guess we can cap it off here. We'll do two parts of this guesting with Sammie. Sammie, before we go, because this will be like a week long break, in real time. It's like, where can we find you? What are your socials?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. I have the same username at Sammie De Leon with 2 N's at the
Heck yeah.
end.
Alrighty. We have a ton of other things that we're gonna discuss, like for you guys. So stay tuned for this week and the week after. This has been the Kingdom Podcast. We'll see you. Follow us on TikTok and on Instagram at the Kingdom Pod PH, and also on YouTube. Subscribe to us at the Kingdom Pod PH as well. And we'll see you again for the next one. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
The Kingdom Podcast is brought to you by the Kingdom Podcast creative team. You can find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at the Kingdom Pod PH. All episodes are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Thanks for listening to the show, and see you next time.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.